I remember when they first put out their marketing video saying about how DNA would work and that they were looking into it, and I was thinking, that's totally impossible. It can't be done. Witchcraft, and they did it. My name's Rob Kelly, and we're in Strongroom Studios in East London. This is Studio 6. I first got to know Strongroom about probably 11 years ago when I was working for DigiDesign as a Pro Tools product specialist, and I was working with Underworld on a DVD that we were doing called Everything Everything, which is one of the first sort of live music DVDs done in the UK. And I was helping them with some technical stuff to do with getting Pro Tools synced up with the different types of video devices they were using, and got to know all the Strongroom technical guys through that and thought it was a fantastic place. And then I ended up going to a party, and then I ended up working here. In 2006, Strongroom merged with AIR Studios based in Hampstead, and I became a director of the company, so worked with AIR and Strongroom mainly on their post-production division up until the end of 2009, and I've been a freelance music producer and sound engineer and musician since then. I'm very fortunate and lucky to still have a room here, which is a lovely place to work, and it's a really nice community of people here, and the studios are great. There are studios of all shapes and sizes at Strongroom, from the big Neve and SSL studios through to small rooms like this, which we call programming rooms, which traditionally have sort of been a home for artists. Lots and lots of dance music made at Strongroom over the years. So Prodigy were based here, as were Orbital, and Chemical Brothers worked here, and a lot of the sort of 90s big UK techno and dance music bands were based at Strongroom for a long time, and that continues now in that we rent the rooms out to artists and songwriters and producers. This room is a Pro Tools HD based system. I'm just sort of using it in stereo at the moment, but we used to do a lot of 5.1 work in here as well, so it can be easily converted into surround sound. And yeah, it's mainly my kit in here these days. I run a Pro Tools HD4, and I do a lot of mixing in the box in Pro Tools, and bits of programming and writing and editing and so on. Projects I've been doing in here, I've been working on an album of American minimalism. That was all edited and mixed in here. I did a big orchestral album last year for Strongroom Productions. That's a music production company that I co-own with Richard Boot, Strongroom's owner, and composer friend of mine, Ruth Barrett. We make albums of music for M.I.A production music, formerly known as KPM, and a lot of that material was recorded at Strongroom. And at the moment I'm working on some stuff for DJ Yoda, and working on a track for his new album. I suppose my philosophy on making music these days is obviously pretty much everything is so computer based, and I think it's very important to keep a lid on the technology and to use it for what it's good at, but to try and work with performers to get a great performance and keep everybody relaxed, and not get into the whole, right, let's move that, let's snip that, let's tune that, let's quantize that. Computers should be a creative tool that are added to what you can do in music production, not a sort of catch-all to fix everything after a very pressured short recording session. So I guess, yeah, I'll sort of try and use software, which is so powerful these days, for what it's good at and as a creative thing, and not use it as a sort of generic problem solver. I used to do an awful lot of trade shows and would be at Music Messa or IBC or NAB in America. I remember the then CEO of DigiDesign, a guy called Dave LeBolt. I remember him wandering around and coming back onto the stand and saying, everyone's got to go and check out this software. I think it was 1.0, it had just been launched, and he was really excited by it, and I said, this is an amazing bit of software, you've all got to go and look at it. And so we did, and he was right. I've been using it on and off for a long time, so yeah, I think I used to use the the standalone versions, but I've really sort of been using it a lot more since it became a plugin format and you could use it in Pro Tools. Since Melodyne Editor came out, yeah, obviously I've been using that a lot, and particularly the sort of direct note access functions, which are pretty amazing. So that's got me out of jail a few times where I've had like stereo recordings of 4 or 5 musicians and someone's out of tune or something. And I remember when they first put out their marketing video saying about how DNA would work and that they were looking into it, and I was thinking, that's totally impossible. It can't be done. Witchcraft, and they did it. I still have absolutely no idea how, but yeah, so that's been quite an amazing tool to have, and you know, a lot of recording sessions, obviously there aren't the budgets or the timescales there that there used to be, and you sometimes just don't have as much time with a musician as you might like. And so if if there are problems in a performance or a technical problem or what have you, the fact that you can actually unpick recordings and tune individual notes or even mute individual notes is quite an amazing thing. So yeah, I've certainly used it a lot more in the last couple of years. I think my favourite features are probably just that it's so easy to use. I have to say I definitely wouldn't consider myself really a power user of it by any means. But I think that's a good thing, and I've never not been able to do anything that I needed it to do. I've always just found it very easy to tune something, to change the timing or tempo of something, and I just find it's very intuitive and obvious to me how it works. You don't really need to go anywhere near the manual, I would say, to figure out the majority of the functions, and I think the interface is really, really clear, and I love the sort of graphical feedback you get when you're tuning something, and very often I'll just prefer to tune something just by ear or individually and not sort of use automatic tuning functions, and it's so nice to just be able to see a note, move it a little bit. I think it's important to sometimes leave things a bit out of tune, or to not sort of sanitize performances too much and take everything out. So it's great for being able to just tidy up stuff that you really need to fix and leaving other stuff that you don't. I think it's very sort of musically designed bit of software. I suppose if I'm on something where there's really a lot of pressure to record something quickly because you've only got somebody for half an hour, it gives me more confidence in knowing that I might be able to fix something if I absolutely have to. I don't think that is a good way of working. You should always try and get the performance, but it does give you a sort of security, a bit of a comfort blanket in that for whatever reason it might be, if I've only got an opportunity to do one take of something, and the performer doesn't nail it first time, you can be pretty sure that you'll be able to fix it if you need to. And I like to use it as a writing tool. If somebody plays a melody, and you might even, halfway through a song say, right, well, we've been working in a major key, what's this song sound like in a minor key? And that's just not something that would be very easy to do ever, really, if you'd recorded things previously. So you've got sort of a lot of musical freedom to use it for writing as well as. I think that's the exciting thing with Melodyne, is as like a writing and creative tool rather than just something for fixing problems.